Yes. Yes, sir, we can continue. Good morning, all of you. This is an elementary school classroom in Islam continuation. We have completed three stanzas and we can resume from stanza number four. From the beginning, actually, we can start from the beginning. It's for just recapitulation. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds. The hair torn round the pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with the rat's eyes. The standard, unlucky higher up Twister Bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes living a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room, other than this. So in this stanza, here our poet Stephen Spencer wants to convey the reader what is happening, inside the classroom. So how the students are looking like. They are all they are all from a slum classroom, an elementary school classroom in a slum. So how much inadequacy they are all feeling that and facing that they are all suffering from even malnutrition. That's why a paper seeming boy with a rat's eyes, everything we discussed in beforehand, right? So here he was just describing about the students how they are looking like. Then he just one step ahead and moving to the second one, next stanza two. In this stanza he just describing of the classroom, describing the classroom, how the classroom was and what were the things inside the classes. So on sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare said, "Clawless at dawn, civilized Rome riding all cities, bell of flower, Triolus Valley." Open-ended map awarding the world its world, and yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world where all the future painted with the fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from river, caves, and stars of words. And then, of course, inside the classroom, of course, I already told you that donations like Shakespeare's image, and of course, Clarless at dawn, civilized dom riding all cities. So, and the pictures related to that. All the pictures are symbolizing that the richness in the world, that means the rest of the world when we compare with the slum world, rest of the world is enjoying all the sophistication, but inside the classes those who are those images are representing that, but they don't have connectivity with all those, especially Shakespeare. So here what were the things, Shakespeare's image, and of course cloudless at dawn, that means early morning sky, that image particular, and of course all the buildings, and of course Triolus Valley with the bell and flowery fragrance and everything. And then another one, an open-handed map. Open-handed map, avoiding the world, its world in the sense, there was a world map which is not mentioning their slum world. And then for these children, these windows, not this map, their world. For them, that world map is not, meaning anything. For them, that is the window. That is the window in the sense, these windows, that means that particular classroom. And of course, when they were opening the window, they could see only the slum world. So for them, their world is the particular slum, and of course, in the slum world, where all the future painted with fog, in the sense totally covered, it is like being discriminated. So here, where all the future, that means their dream, and of course their future, and their even their progress, even the progressive, everything was painted, means covered or wrapped. So covered with the fog, in the sense full of fog, means fog of, I already told you, the fog is the fog of hopelessness and of course hunger. So they were from poverty stricken, and of course they were being discriminated by the society. Then the third stanza, you can also see that third stanza, that's why here he was mentioning that for them that they had a narrow street, that means that is their world, that is a world, a narrow street sealed in, closed in with a dull sky. Lead sky means a dull sky, and they were from far far, they were far far from rivers. Maybe we are taking even river, a natural one, or we can go for the richness in the world, and of course caves and stars of words. Here stars of words in the sense, it is like stars in the sky, it can't be touched. Their life, and of course their imagination, their dream, everything can be taken part. So okay, here cannot be taken part, we can take that. That's why stars of words means can't be touched. That means that is something beyond their expectation, beyond their limitations. It is only they can imagine, they cannot even get. Then in the third stanza, here he was just criticizing, describing or criticizing about Shakespeare. Here you can also see that by giving description about the first stanza classroom, and then classroom students. Here he was mentioning that surely Shakespeare is wicked. You know what is the meaning wicked? I already told you that wicked means not noble, or we can go for evilish or devilish. Shakespeare is immortal. Nobody can be mentioned or talked. Immortal. Immortal means no end, no end, and of course no death also. We can take that. Here Shakespeare already, he passed to be, but here we are considering the world of literature, English literature. We are telling that Shakespeare is immortal, and of course his 37 plays, two long narrative poems, richness in his work, and of course it is, being spread. So nobody knows, those who are sitting inside the classroom, even they didn't understand who is Shakespeare, they didn't know that who was Shakespeare and what was his, work and everything. That's why they didn't have connectivity with Shakespeare. So here Stephen Spender is mentioning that Shakespeare is wicked, surely, and he was giving a promise. So yeah, surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map, a bad example. First one is Shakespeare. The second one is the map, which was, So here the map was a bad example because that map doesn't symbolize their life. That means in a particular slum area in the world map, so, which was prepared by the dictators. Even the who prepared the world map also didn't mention, didn't even also they never considered, that particular slum area where they were. That means that's why it is named an elementary school classroom in a slum. So here the map was a very bad example, was a bad example for their life. And of course whatever in the pictures, you can also see that with ships, and of course sun, and of course love, all those things. You can also have a close bracket, ships from sun, and of course love, all those richness in the world. That means, these things are giving them, tempting them to steal. These things are tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. You understand that slyly already told you that it's like monotonous life. Monotonous life, whatever that means, there was no quality education, there was no proper facilities, and they were from poverty stricken, and no malnutrition. They were being suffered, and of course they were, being treated, discriminated people like, and of course everything they faced. That's why here for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes means crammed holes. We are here considering that crammed holes means your small hutments in that particular slum area, small and of course congested. What is the meaning? You can also imagine how a slum looks like. You just, if you have visited, in the sense, if you when you visit, you will come to know that, or you might have seen in a movie or in a picture. We have come across, even we studied in the last spring also. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage, rack picker's life, and Simapuri, and of course I want to drive a car from by Mukesh. There also you could, bangle making community in Ferozabad. So all these, crammed holes. So here he was considering that their entire life, generation by generation, they are being, totally, they have been, spending their life in that, in their crammed holes. That means small hutments, small holes, small houses in the slum area. So for lives that slyly, artfully, craftfully turned in their crammed holes, you can also underline crammed holes. From fog to endless night. That's why this is what I'm trying to convey. From fog. Here you can continue. You can also write that maybe, morning to evening, or week beginning, day beginning to be day end, or week beginning to be week end, or month beginning to month end, or year beginning to year end. That means, entire life. Their entire life is being, collapsed, totally, destroyed in that particular slum area. So cramped holes from fog to endless night. He was mentioning that, he was trying to convey to the readers their life totally is being, discriminated, and of course collapsed in their life, in their particular cramped holes. So on this slag heap, so here, what does it mean, slag heap? Here he was taking that slag heap. That means, slag heap means that mount. That means it's like, garbage like. These children were skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass. You can also underline that. You can also underline these children wear skins. It is like, with only we can see their bones and of course their skins. That's all. That this is related to, from malnutrition. While looking at them in their slag heap, by looking at them, we can also identify. We can also describe. They were, wearing skins peep through. That means, totally we can only see they were lean, they were lanky, they were, they are due to malnutrition, they are like, deceased one. While looking at them, these children were skins peep through by bones and spectacles. Here bones means totally they were thin, paper seeming boy like. They were paper seeming boy like with rat's eyes, bulging eyes. That means that much they were suffering from malnutrition. And of course they were wearing spectacles of steel with mended glass. While looking at their faces, they were also bigger due to malnutrition. They lost their even eyesight also, even their energy, even their strength, and of course everything. So they were wearing spectacles. While looking at the spectacles, those spectacles were totally mented. What is the meaning mented? Mented means repaired, broken pieces. Mented, only mented, corrected. Spectacles of steel with mended glass, but not exchanged, not changed, entirely changed. Only mented, repaired. That means due to poverty. While looking at that means like their mented glass, their life also like bottle with stones. Like simile, he has cleverly used that. Like bottle bits and stones, how you are just breaking a bottle on a stone, you can also get an idea. Their life is like that. That means no care. Nobody was ready to take care of them. Nobody was ready to look after them. That's why their life is like a bottle bits on stones. So here he was just justifying the things what was taken part. And then all of the time and space are foggy Islam. And here he was just concluding that all of the time, that means totally the life, you can also they a particular student's life, or either girl or boy, doesn't matter, all of the time and space. That means you can also underline the word here. Time and space means their life and their progress, their process, and of course their quality educations, everything is in foggy slum. So all of the time and space are foggy slum. Foggy slum, underline the word foggy slum and write that it is like living hells. You can underline the word foggy slum hyphen, you write living hell. What is the meaning hell and heaven? So here we are considering, that means we are comparing that particular slum area with living hell. That means that much hell which is providing us, which is totally ruining us. Likewise, that their life and imagination and of course their dream, everything is being destroyed, everything is being ruined in that particular foggy slum. Foggy slum means living hell. Living hell means your that particular slum area. And so blot their maps with a slum as big as doom. And he was just mentioning that blot in the sense mark. They were the mark. They were the marks for that particular community. Those who are from the particular slum area. So maybe it's like dialect they were speaking, and of course their tribal people, or they have their own identity. Like so they so blot their maps. So here they were the representatives. They were the representatives of the particular community, those who were say, living in the particular foggy slum. And their slum is like slums as big as dome. You can understand it's like something hyperbole, exaggeration. You can underline that as big as doom here, that is their destruction. That is a destruction. What is the meaning doom? Their life is like that. So as because here he was just using simile, used a simile. So they so blot their maps. They were the representatives. They were the marks. They were the marks of the particular community. Those were suffering in the slum area, and of course that slum as big as doom. What is the meaning dome? I already told you foggy slum. This has the connectivity with the foggy slum. So here foggy slum is living hell. Here doom also living hell. You can underline the word doom and write maybe disaster or destruction, or you can write hell for those their entire life. So they didn't understand who was Shakespeare and Shakespeare's work. And of course, the map also by the dictators. They never considered the slum people. And of course, they were tempted. They were tempted to do something, steal the things for their lives. And of course, their lives totally, ruined in a crammed holes from fog to endless nights, morning to evening, morning to night, or we can go for that. And of course, they slack heaps. These children, they were, from due to malnutrition, they were looking like lanky or thin, and of course we can go for a paper seeming boy. You understand? And they were wearing spectacles of steel with mended glass, that that they were unable to exchange. They were unable to get a new one. But mended glass, while looking at the your Stephen Spender was mentioning that their life looked like looking like bottle based on sounds, and they were the blot for their community, and of course for that particular slum. They slum as big as doom. He was considering that. In the fourth stanza, you can also the concluding. So after describing, after completing, after giving statement related to the classroom, and of course class students, and of course their destiny. Here he was just justifying the things, and he was just requesting the readers to, unless governor, inspector, or visitor, like visitors, we are readers. So unless governor, so we are taking governor means we can also go for last spring, right? Or we can go for the government officials, or we can go for bureaucrats, or we can go for police or policemen, or we can go for politicians or anybody, we can take that. That's why here one or two it is examples like. So you can also see, unless governor or inspector are visited, they have to just go and visit, and of course they have to update them. You can also look at look at the elementary class classroom in a slum. That image also has given here. You can also see that has been given here. So unless governor or inspector or visitor, so like those who are in authority, they have to just go and visit, they have to update, they have to get the things, they have to do a research, and they should understand their condition and of course poverty, and they have to help them. We have to give them something. It is like, for the rest of their life we need to do some help. It is like, spreading or just giving, or we are giving some survival, giving them survival. And of course we need to give them even quality education. We have to give them opportunities, of course. So unless governor or inspector, you can also underline governor and inspector and write higher officials, government officers, bureaucrats, politicians, policemen, anything you can write. So they have to just go and visit, and of course visit them and get their things, and of course they have to do some updation. They have to just render their service. By that they will also bridge the things. That means connect. Their world is totally away from the common world. You can understand, with the common world all the children are enjoying, all the children are enjoying, especially primary students, primary classes and primary class students, they were enjoying all the facilities, but they are all missing them. So those government officials can go and visit, and of course they have to bridge the gap. What is the meaning bridge the gap? They have to connect their slum world with the common world the rest of the world is enjoying. Understand that? And of course, he was mentioning this map becomes the window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Now you can understand. For them, this map becomes a window. Here, this map becomes a window. That means the particular slum area. And these windows, when they are opening, they could see only slum area, that atmosphere, that circumstances only they could enjoy. So these windows that totally shut upon. You can also write, have a closed bracket, shut upon their lives here, block their progress. You can just open and close bracket. Shut upon their lives means have a closed bracket, and write, block their progress. Progress and of course dream. Which one? That particular classroom. For them, that particular slum classroom is the world. For them, that slum area is their world. They didn't have the connectivity with the common world, the rich world, the natural world, everything. That's why here they have to go and of course support them and render the service to connect with the common world. They will also come to know the things, worldly things, and they will also get the knowledge as the remaining children, rest of the world is getting. And this map becomes a window, and these windows totally, that the world totally shut upon their lives. You understand that? Totally closed. They knew only nothing except the particular, like they knew nothing they knew only art of bangle making. Likewise here, that shut upon their lives. That means block their progress like catacombs. Underline the word like. Simile, catacombs here, catacombs means underground cemetery. You write underground cemetery, that symmetrical pattern in a graveyard. You can underline the word that will be inside the graveyard. So you can write like catacombs. Catacombs here, underground catacombs along underground gallery which excavations in its slides for tombs. What is the meaning? Tombstones. Tombstones means very well. Tombstones means, yes, which is placed in a graveyard, right? So inside the grave, which is constructed, that is known as symmetrical pattern. So here symmetry, underground symmetry, like inside the grave, there lies like inside the grave, that is known as catacomb. Catacomb means underground symmetrical pattern construction. You understand? Likewise, they are living their life. Nobody knows where they, and of course what they, and of course how they are all performing, and of course learning and knowing the things. So here he was just giving us a statement like, break or break, we have to remove that. Break or break open till they break the town. That means they have to come out. They have to come out of this period, and of course they have to get all those things as the rest of the world is getting. So break or break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make the world run assure on gold sands. So here he was mentioning that, let them break or break open till they break the town means let them come out of this period. They have to just to break it and of course come out, and of course they have to see the natural world, and of course it is something prosperous and progressive. They should know, they should see, they should enjoy, they should get opportunities to get progress in the life, and show the children to the green fields. You underline the word, all the natural sceneries, green fields, whatever it is, that means richness in the world. Are you all understanding, sir? Are you all getting me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and he was mentioning that, and
Yes,
show the
sir.
children. We have to bring the children out of their sphere, and we have to give them the, that means give them the knowledge. So and show the children to green fields. Underline the word, that means natural world, and all the richness in the world, including education, including quality education. We have to give them. We have to give them technological related or whatever it is. They should also learn. They should also see. They should also feel. They should also experience. So and show the children to green fields, and make the world run assured. Underline the word run assured here, like clear sky, clear sky, run assured on gold sands, means let them experience. You can underline the sentence, run assured on gold sands means let them experience, let them let them get their experience, or let them experience, let them go, and of course walk, and of course they have to even eat, they have to feel that and smell everything. So you write, and make the world run assure on gold sands. Let them walk on the gold sands. So gold sands, we are taking that all the richness in the world, all the natural places in the world, because they are being restricted or trapped in the particular slum, and let their
Sir,
tongues. Yes, sir.
sir, your voice is a little so low, sir.
Okay, so sometime it will be, sir. Now, am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Okay, run assure on gold sands means here we are letting them to walk on the gold sands. Gold sands, you can underline the word and write all the places in the world, and of course all the richness in the world. And let their tongues here, let them run and act into books. That means let them get their quality education. You can underline that. Let their tongues run and act into books. You can have a closed bracket and write that. Let them get their quality education, because they were being discriminated from quality education. So and let their tongues run act. Run act means let them read. Let them read. Let them have their quality educations into the books. Into the books. Into the book. Run act into books. The white and green leaves. So underline the word white means all the textbooks. All the textbook. White books. The white means all the textbook quality education. And green leaves mere. Green leaves means, that means all the rich places in the world. Let them read, let them get the knowledge, let them also visit, let them also know, let them also experience. Run act into books. The white and green leaves open history. These whose language is the sun. So when we are allowing, when we are giving ample opportunities, let them also give. Let them also read. Let them also get experience. They will also become like the sun. They will also become like the sun, and they will create history, because open history, they whose language is the sun. So like sun, like the sun, let them bring in the world means they will also create history. This is what he just wants to convey to the reader by the fourth stanza. Now you can see that. So here, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes a window, and these windows that shut upon the lies like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and sow the children to green fields, and make the world run azure on gold sands, and let the tongues run act into books, the white and green leaves open history. This whose language, this whose language is the sun, right? And we will discuss it. We will discuss. Before that, we will just conclude. You have to write in your textbook all the poetic devices based on this. All the poetic devices based on that, I will also give you. Now you can see that. Think it out. Tick the items which best answers the following. So here, take the item which best answers the following. The tall girl with her head weighed head weighed down means. The tall girl with her head weighed down means the girl is ill and exhausted. What is your answer? As her head bent with the shame, as untidy hair. What is your answer? You can also write in your textbook. Second one, you can see the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes means the boy is sly and secretive. are thin, hungry, and weak, unpleasant looking. You can write your own answers. And C. The standard unlucky higher of twisted bones means the boy has an inherited disability, was short and bony. You can write your answers. And fourth one, you can see that his eyes live in a dream squirrel's game in tree room. Other than this means the boy is full of hope in the future, mentally ill, distracted from the lesson. Right? You can write. And then fifth one, you can see that the children's faces are compared to rootless beasts. This means they are insecure, are all ill-fed, and of course are wasters. You can also write that. Then second question you can also see. What do you think is the color of sour cream? Why do you think the poet has used this expression to describe the classroom walls? So, based on your understanding, you can also answer the question. And then, third one, the walls of the classes are decorated with the pictures of Shakespeare, buildings with the domes, world maps, and beautiful valleys. How do these contrast? How do these contrast? That means opposite. With the world of these children, that you should understand that, right? Then, what does the poet want for the children of the slums? How can their lives be made to change? So, all those things you should also remember that, right? Then you can write the poetic devices. I'm just naming that. You can write. First one is you can write wherever you find place. You can also write images and symbols. First poetic device. You can write images and symbols. Images and symbols. Are you all writing, sir? We have only 5 minutes to go. Are you all writing?
Yes, sir.
You can write.
Yes, sir.
Images and symbols. First one, gusty waves. Second one, images and symbols. Have you all written images and symbols? First images, gusty waves. Second one, paper seeming boy, sour cream balls, gusty waves, paper seeming boy, sour cream balls, Triolus Valley, rootless weeds, twisted bones. We can also create, like, it is like symbol, and of course we can also go for images. So Triolus Valley, rootless weeds, twisted bones, Shakespeare's head, Shakespeare apostrophe, Shakespeare's head, open-handed map, open-handed map, ships and sun, gold sands, open-handed map, ships and sun, gold sands, sands, gold sands, bottle bits on stones, bottle bits on, that image also we can, that symbolizing their poverty life. Bottle bits on stones, crammed holes, crammed holes, bottle bits on stones, crammed holes. Once again, I'm just reading. Gusty waves, paper seeming boy, sour cream ball. You must write, sir. Only once I will give you that, otherwise you will miss that. So, gusty waves, paper seeming boy, sour cream balls, Triolus Valley, rootless weeds, twisted bones, Shakespeare said, open-handed map, ships and sun, gold sands, bottle bits on stones, crammed holes. Have you all written? Sir, have you all written?
Yes, sir.
Then you can write alliteration. Alliteration. Second poetic device is alliteration. 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 Bottle bits. Bottle bits. B. Bottle bits. B. You can underline. Far, far from. F. Far, far from. Far, far from. From fog. From fog. F. From fog. F. Surely Shakespeare. S. You can underline S. Surely Shakespeare. From the beginning, alliterations, bottle bits, far, far from fog, surely Shakespeare. Four things are mentioning alliterations in this particular poem and elementary school classroom in this. Similes, you're right. Simile. First one, images and symbol. Second one, alliteration. Third one, similes. Right? Similes. Similes. Like rootless beats. like rootless speech. Can underline like rootless speech, like rootless speech, like catacombs, like catacombs, like rootless speech, like catacombs, like bottle bits on stones, like bottle bits on stones, like rootless speech, like catacombs, like bottle bits on stones, slum as big as doom, as underline that, as slum as big as doom, slum as big as doom. Have you all written, sir? Similes like rootless beach, like catacombs, like bottle bits on stones, slum as big as doom. Remaining metaphor, assonance, repetitions, anaphora, everything we will discuss tomorrow.